Yes.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order of the regular board meeting of the Board of Directors Wednesday, May 20th, 6:30 p.m. In an effort to protect the public health and prevent the spread of COVID-19, and in accordance with the governor's executive order, the public may view and listen to the Board of Directors meeting online, and there will be no public location for the attending in person. I'll ask General Manager Ban if he'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Stand. Ready, begin. I pledge
I pledge
allegiance
to the flag
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, that's
All right.
that delay is something else.
Yeah, that's hard.
That is awkward.
Yeah.
Item number 3, welcome everybody, determination of a quorum.
President Johnson,
Yes,
Vice President Unger,
Here.
Director Hund,
Here.
Director Reynolds, Director Reynolds.
I saw him earlier.
Yeah, he was on there earlier.
He's
He's
here.
still-
I think he's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, he might be frozen.
Oh, great.
Director Flowen,
Here.
Oh, there he is. Hey,
Right on.
Director Reynolds overtime.
Let me see what's happening.
Director Reynolds is in a time warp currently.
well, he's on the other side of my vortex, so. You know, Gary, there's this vortex up here.
I do. Why do you think I moved here?
Mark?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Marco. Mike is having some technical difficulties. He got booted out. He's trying to reconnect, so it may take him a couple of minutes, but he is here. Mark?
Perfect. We'll
Okay.
wait for him to sign in. All right, President Johnson, you have a quorum.
all right, welcome everybody again. Item number 4, the approval of the agenda. I have a motion. Okay,
If I could, Director Johnson, there's 2 items in here. One due to some more information that staff would like to present to the board at a future meeting. We'd like to table agenda item 8 for a future meeting. That's to receive the partial audit report. And
All
then
right.
also, due to scheduling conflicts with holding the closed session later on in the evening, the closed session will also not be needed.
So then I move we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
so these are just tabled, is that what I understand?
Correct.
All right, yes, okay. Roll call?
Director Hund,
Yes.
President Johnson,
Yes,
Director Flowen,
Yes.
Vice President Unger,
Yes.
Director Reynolds. Not quite back yet. All right.
okay.
Oh, there he is. Director Reynolds might be able to vote.
Mike, are you there?
Yeah, finally, I got booted off.
Well, welcome back.
Nice.
We're approving the item number 4, approval of the agenda, and the general managers asked that we table item 8 and item 12. And everyone has voted in the affirmative, and we're waiting for your vote.
Okay, vote aye.
Okay. You have that, the general manager there?
Got it.
Got it. All right, I'm going to move to item number 6, the consent calendar. Matters on the consent calendar considered.
Number
routine.
5.
Public comment, Bob.
Well, there is no public comment.
Jane Jarlsberg is in the meeting, I think.
Yes,
Well,
I do have one public comment that was sent in by email.
I
Director Johnson.
apologize. And this time is set aside for public comment on district-related not matter appearing on the agenda. Government code prohibits the board from taking action on these items, but they may be referred to for future consideration. Please state your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes. General Manager.
Jay, I saw you on here earlier. Would you like to comment?
Oh, am I auto?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
I sent my email to Beverly. I thought she was gonna, or somebody was gonna read it. But
Sure, I can do that. I just saw you on there, so if you'd prefer me to read it, I can do that.
Well, yeah, might as well. I'm here.
So I think the only comment on here, oh, go ahead.
I did want to say I thought Beverly was gonna ask to have the oh shoot, the Citizens Advisory Council postponement was supposed to be added somehow to the agenda. You said that you were going to request that.
That's correct. That's my bad. I'm going to actually bring that up during future meetings.
Okay. Okay. All right. And then the other thing, if you could just read it, that'd be cool.
Perfect. So I believe your comment had to do with whether or not we'd be providing any information for the upcoming elections.
Yeah.
I can report on that as well. I attempted to get some information from the county. I searched their website. They don't have any information on there for special district elections yet. I did call the county voting register office, and they actually asked that we contact them back in July as things get closer. So no
Okay,
current
could I just
information available for that.
Could I add something? I also asked if you were going to consider changing it like the Yucca Valley Water District did. They decided to postpone the district.
High Desert Water District postponed voting on any type of changing in their districting and the way they voted, not the actual election itself.
Right, right, exactly. But I wondered if you guys were considering that. That was my question.
Yeah, that's actually already voted on and completed, so.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, back to number 5. Every time I think I'm going to be moving on, I'm brought right back. Number 6, the consent calendar. Matters on the consent calendar are considered routine in nature will be acted on a single motion without discussion. Any board member or member of the public may request that an item be removed from the consent calendar and acted on separately. And we have the March and April check registry and April 15th draft minutes. Comments, or I'll entertain a motion.
Comment from me.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
Can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, please, then.
It's actually in the form of a question. On the check register for March, I'm looking at page 6 of 44. If Susan can hear me, the question would be about maybe 1.5 inches from the bottom. There's a USDA Rural Development $61,000 payment was made. And I was just kind of curious. I think we know that that's the Copper Mountain Mesa payment. They're a sort of a district within a district. But I was kind of wondering about the timing of all of that. How which egg and which chicken is first about making the payment? Do we get the funds from the county and the property tax to the county and then to us, and then we make the payment? Or is there a specific time that we have to make a payment like this out of our own pocket and then get reimbursed by the county later? Am I stating that correctly?
Yes, I understand what you're saying. A couple of factors there. We are on a regular schedule with the County of San Bernardino, whereby property tax payments, including Copper Mountain Mesa Assessment District payments, are forwarded to the district. We have not had to advance district funds for many, many years. However, there is a reserve fund set up for the Copper Mountain Mesa Assessment District. So in the event that we are short, we pull from that reserve fund to make the payment.
Well, this is kind of an opportunity for me to publicly point out that when we see numbers like this or cash flow type things like this, it isn't necessarily that the district is spending this money. It simply is passed through us. So some of these expenditure totals, I'm trying to think of the term, that are somewhat exaggerated because it's not actually money that the district has spent. It's money that passes through the district. And as I understand it too, is that we're also collecting a service fee to cover the cost of doing such things. Am I on track?
Yeah, that is correct. We have NBS takes care of administering the Copper Mountain Mesa Assessment District on our behalf. So their phone number is actually on the property tax bill. If anyone has a question about their assessment, they are directed to the 800 number that NBS answers.
And this is the same NBS that's doing our audit on our parcels.
Absolutely.
I didn't realize that. Thank you
Yes.
very much. Thank you for your time, Mr. President.
All right, any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll make that motion.
All
I'll
right.
Second.
All right.
Who
All
seconded?
those, all right, General Manager?
Did you get the second, Bev?
Yes.
No, who
Oh,
seconded?
I did.
Oh, thanks, Gary.
President Johnson,
yes. Aye.
Vice President Unger,
Yes.
Director Hund,
Aye.
Director Reynolds,
Aye.
Director Flowin.
Aye.
Perfect.
All right, so moved, so done. Item number 7 is the consideration amendment to the administration code to identify banking authority for signing district-generated checks and incorporating just district-based voting requirements. And is this Susan or Pam?
Yeah.
Yes.
Me. I want to preface this by saying that my computer, there, it just did it. My computer's possessed and it shuts off the microphone and the speakers all on its own. So if I stop talking, if you stop hearing me, then do this so I can tell. It's not necessarily obvious to me, so I'll try to get through this quickly. While working on the codification process, which really requires us looking at every resolution that's been issued in the district's history, I noticed a couple things that I think would be better.
Oops, you did cut off.
Sorry.
You're back.
I found some things that I felt should be included in the administration code. That helps them not to be lost over time or forgotten. So first, I noticed that we haven't issued a resolution authorizing our bank signers for quite some time. The process changed a few years back, and while the bank does not require that we issue a resolution, they require that we have authorized the signers. And so I thought that in lieu of having to issue a new resolution, and literally I've probably come across 50 of these looking through the history of the district. I think adding this authority into our administration code by title and not by name is the best approach there. So that will suffice for the authority that is required by the bank. Then secondly, I found all the information in the ordinance that was adopted for the district-based election process, and I thought that's important stuff that needs to be memorialized in a place, not in a binder somewhere, but really in a living document, which our administration code is. So I've drafted a resolution here to incorporate, that language into our administration code to add the banking authority, as well as all the detail about the district-based elections, which comes almost verbatim from that ordinance that the board adopted last year. So that's my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, I'll take questions, Director Reynolds.
I have no questions.
All right, Director Hund.
I have a comment. I think only Susan, I can't imagine anybody else that would have the patience and the wherewithal and the tenacity to go through every single resolution that this district has ever produced and make such great catches and recognize things that need to be incorporated into our code. So my hat's off to you, Susan. I know your time is growing short here, but I've been so impressed with you, and I so appreciate the very thorough and diligent work that you do.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
Indeed.
Director Unger.
Yes, this came before the Finance Committee, so we did have a chance to look at it. And at the Finance Committee, the one comment I made had to do with the amount that requires the cutoff there, with the amount that requires a third signature. And, I sign a lot of these checks, and it just seemed like the threshold was really low, and that very few checks that need 3 signatures are like just above $5,000. It was explained to me, however, that every department has a different threshold. And, it's something that Director Flowen has brought up, which always makes a lot of sense, is harmonizing everything. Mm-hmm. They should, support and supplement and be in harmony with other things. And I don't know how that would be possible. It seemed like, I guess, Susan, that $5,000 was sort of like everybody's kind of cutoff. Was that kind of what it was?
No, honestly, that is the threshold that's been established at the bank, and I'm back to 1989 now with resolutions. So, I mean, it's been that since the time that I got here. I should have readdressed that in this report when I brought it forth to the board, because Ann and I talked about that, and it's just going to take a little more work to get to that point. We very much agree that the threshold is too low, but it's going to take a little more work to harmonize the purchasing policy, the authority that the various managers have, their authorization level, and determining whether those things need to harmonize at all. The number of signatures on the check doesn't necessarily need to harmonize with the signature authority for a manager. So just going to take a little more work, and we wanted to move forward because it feels like we're sort of hanging out with this. We haven't really authorized the signers. So I wanted to get this done, but it's on our list, and we're thinking about how
definitely
to do a better job.
Get this section of it done for sure. And that was my only comment.
Yep.
All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Can I ask a question?
Oh, please.
I was just, I assume this is true. I just wanted to confirm that the bank is in line with seeing potentially unfamiliar signatures on checks. If we just do it by position and not them having a copy of a signature, does that phase them in any way?
This is not in lieu of a signature card. You have to go to the bank in order to sign a signature card. But in the past, we handled the signature cards in the office and at the same time turned in a resolution to the bank. We don't have to do the resolution anymore, and we don't handle the bank signature cards. You go directly to the bank. So in that process, the drafting of the resolution fell through the cracks, okay? So a better way of handling that going forward in lieu of, the light isn't on.
I can hear you.
Do I have everybody else on still, or did I just lose Susan?
Oh, it might be you.
I can hear
Susan,
Susan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
If I could just add, also, Susan, the bank has actually allowed us to handle the signature cards in-house for the last years. They just type everything up and send it to us, and we have the directors sign or the other signers sign. So it's much easier than them having to go to the bank as they once did.
Okay.
But yes, you're correct about everything else. This is different than the purchasing policy authorization levels.
Yeah,
So-
all we're,
We lost her again.
Well, let
The
me ask a question, and that's, we still have a signature card then?
yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay, that was my concern, was that, or curiosity, I guess.
Right.
All right, any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve, recommend that the board approve resolution 2010-19, amending the admin code.
And
Do I
that's
have
for
a
both of
motion?
the items.
Yes.
So moved.
All
Second,
right, is there a second? All right, you have that, Beverly? General Manager?
Perfect. Director Hund,
Aye.
President Johnson,
Aye.
Director Flowen,
Aye.
Director Reynolds,
Aye.
Vice President Under.
aye.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Ann. Moving to item number 9, General Manager report.
All right, so the district continues to provide essential services, operating with a mix of remote and on-site employees, a lot of them working staggered schedules to accomplish that. One of the big things that's come in, and what we've been talking to our COVID-19 ad hoc committee about, is getting folks returned to work safely. One of the big pitches on that was having the correct PPE available to us. As everybody knows, obtaining masks and hand sanitizers and different types of disinfectant wipes and things of that nature has been a task in itself, and something I know Beverly's been working on every day for the last couple months. So we've gotten in quite a bit of that gear now. We're able to obviously make our own disinfection spray and things of that nature. We got a bunch of masks in, still awaiting some more that we ordered through an account that Beverly set up through Amazon for first responders, which we're a part of. And a big component of this is Sarah's been working with Atkinson, our general counsel, I should say, in getting a return to work policy in line for us here. They were gracious enough, Jeff, to send us a 96-page report on that. Very thorough and very accurate to what's going on in today's world. And Sarah's busy kind of melting that into what's needed here at the district. So we're hoping to accomplish that this week and start implementing it so we can get folks back to as normal as possible anyway towards the beginning of June. I anticipate that some folks would still be working remotely at that time, just so that we can provide enough space here to maintain some form of social distancing and things of that nature. But certainly as far as our pipeline crews that are already looking to return to work and start getting some pipe back into the ground and some normalcy back in operations as well. We're already kind of starting to move in that direction currently. So once we feel good that we have a safe environment for everybody and folks can come to work and be as safe as possible, we'll be making that happen. So
Okay, thank you.
Any other reports from staff that you'd like to provide? No? All right. Good to go.
All right, item number 10, director's reports on meetings attended, comments, and future agenda items. Kathleen, public information.
Just 2 things, well, maybe 3. Mark and I have been working on several things, but they're still not ready to bring to the board. And when they do, I hope it's all good news. And while we're waiting, And the teardrop is going to be going totally digital. We will not be printing it except for having it in the lobby for the time when we are back open to the public. But we have discovered, at least Mark has figured out with using Constant Contact, there is significant savings. And it also opens up a lot more real estate to communicate. And we're not limited to just once a month. Once we get it all set up, we can communicate at will if we need to. So the ramping up of that takes time and some energy, but I think with this situation going on with COVID, it has introduced some positive sideline opportunities, and we're taking advantage of it. So the last newsletter in print that will be mailed is June's edition, and then we will move to a July totally digital.
Wow.
Okay. And I said there were 3 things and I can't remember it, so that's it.
What about graduation, Kathleen?
Well, I that was one of the happy things, but I fear we were having one more board meeting before it gets launched. And I thought maybe I could come back with a little more information on what exactly we'll be doing. But it's your call, Mark. I mean, it's just coming down fast, so we haven't really locked everything in. So, but we're doing stuff, huh? Sure.
Absolutely.
Kathleen
All right.
or President Johnson, this is Jane.
Yes, please.
Make a comment?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to say at the board meeting, I was going to say it to Kathleen, that I'm very impressed with the teardrop, especially the last issue, which was so informative. Just in general, I don't care if you're a water customer or not. I think everybody should be seeing that. I don't know how to, Anyway, I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. It's a team effort. We all work it. Trust me.
I
Everyone weighs in on it.
But it's a beautiful piece of work.
Thank you.
All right, I'll move on to the COVID ad hoc committee, and this is a committee that Director Unger and I've been engaged with the general manager and staff. And Rebecca, do you want to give some wave tops to what we've been doing?
Yeah, I will. This is a really good committee, and we've had a couple of meetings so far, and Beverly's put out some really good detailed minutes that I think all the directors, got them, and hopefully you feel like you're pretty informed. We had a meeting on the 22nd of April, and then we had one on, I think it was the 6th of May. And at the meeting in April, President Johnson, used his military, experience and said, we need to have some, markers. We need to have phases. We need to, what are we getting up to, and what are our goals in all of those? And we mirrored ours pretty well with what the state is doing. And so on May 7th, we had our last meeting on May 6th, May 7th, we had really hit our phase 1, and we're ready to move into phase 2, which Mark was able to get all the supplies, the masks, the gloves, the cleaning wipes, everything to make it safe for our guys to go out there together in a truck. And so starting the CIRP again and go back to a normal staff on distribution. And we've, still keeping the front lobby closed, looking for ways to, fix that front lobby so going forward it will be safe for the customer service representatives and the public, easier to use. And certainly, complying with the SB 998, the governor's restrictions on lockoffs, through the end of this month. And we've been talking with customers. I know Mark has talked to people who've been behind and stuff. So we've really, I think we've really hit that phase 2 mark really well. And remember from last time, there were the 6 indicators for California for opening or modifying the stay-home order. the ability to monitor and protect through testing, contact tracing, isolating, reporting, ability to prevent infection in people who are at risk. So certainly we've done that by doing a lot of telework. People who feel a sensitivity to this are able to work from home and going well. So that's, we've been able to hit that marker. The ability to monitor and protect contact tracing, that's really, I think, something that the county, it's they're the ones for that. The ability of our hospital system to handle the surges, we seem to have done that well here. The ability to develop therapeutics to meet the demand, that's also of our pay grade here. But for the ability for businesses, which we are, and facilities to support physical distancing, which we've done by, doing Zoom meetings and letting people work from home. And certainly our ability to, have this ad hoc, which helps us give the ability to determine when to reinstate, certain measures if needed. And I think you've seen on the screen today, I went and I found, I went to the California State website, COVID-19 California, and this is from the site. They started stage 2 on May 7th, pretty much like we did. And in stage 2, permitted is curbside retail, some manufacturers, some logistics, childcare for the essential workforce, office-based businesses can open, telework strongly encouraged, some select services like car washes, pet grooming, landscaping, gardening, and outdoor museums and open gallery spaces, other public access spaces with modification, which, might be our demonstration garden at some point. So there are some things opening up here. What is not permitted is, personal services such as nail salons, tattoo parlors, gyms, indoor museums, unfortunately, like a high desert nature museum, Mappy Hour, community centers, limited capacity religious services, nightclubs, concerts, live sports, festivals, theme parks, hotels, things like that. And but the state does allow for something called, permit attestation or something like that, where you a county can and I've seen some of them that's on the state website. Not for our county. We haven't been able, I think, to meet some of those markers in that stage 2, like the contact tracing and stuff like that, even though they're doing a lot of testing. I got tested at Copper Mountain College last week, was one of 550 people who got the test. But it's, something attestation, and it means that you have met all those 6 requirements, and they're big documents. They're 100 pages and more with how you're doing it, everything that supports that, supplements it, charts and graphs, how you're doing it, everything official that shows that you have met those. And so Mono and Inyo County in our congressional district have met those. Of course, they're very, very rural, but they were able to do that. So they're able to get into stage 2, where they can have things like nail salons, museums, maybe some concerts and festivals and things. So we're still working. Tomorrow the county is having a public meeting at 4 p.m. Go to sbcounty.gov and just click on meeting, and you can then see the meeting. It's live, because they're antsy. They want to open up, and they the chatter is, oh, let's open up before we've met the state requirements. We got to do this, and it's like, no, they opened the park, and I don't think too many people are happy about that. We've been bringing their COVID in here, but I'll be interested to see what they say tomorrow at that meeting of 4 o'clock, sbcounty.gov. And one of the things that was considered essential was certainly water and wastewater. And so the governor calls it a complex sector composed of drinking water and wastewater of varying sizes. This is an essential workforce, and especially if remote working is not practical. And so operational staff at water authorities, operational staffs at community water systems, operational staff at wastewater treatment facilities, workers repairing water and wastewater infrastructure, water distribution, wastewater collection, operational staff and technical support for SCADA, chemical disinfectant suppliers for water, so things that we use to, put in our system, and workers that maintain digital system infrastructures that support water and wastewater operations. So we are working on all these things. I think we're meeting our markers good. By the end of the month, the state will have more, they're going to do more evaluation, see where the state can be. I know the Mayor Garcetti is saying that he's looking for July 4th, kind of guess as an opening date for LA County. For us, I think a nice marker for me would be having the budget meeting in the board office. I think we're planning on one on June 17th. Even if we're social distance and we're wearing masks, it'd be so much easier to do all that stuff. At least with the directors and staff, maybe the public would still be on remote. But on this committee, that's what I would be hoping for. We have another ad hoc committee meeting next week, I believe on the 27th at 11 a.m. So these are things I'm going to be, collecting more data to support my aim of getting us back, live. And hopefully we can do that. I think we've really been great. Everyone has surmounted any obstacles they've had here to do these Zoom meetings, and they're certainly not ideal. We're not the only ones doing it though. And I want to thank all the staff, my fellow directors. Everyone has been working really hard and keeping everyone safe, keeping the district running well. And we're on it, for the duration. That's my recap.
Yeah, thank you. It's, a lot of appreciation to the staff for all of the input and trying to keep up with Sacramento is keeping up with Sacramento. I'll move on to the Mojave Water Agency Board of Directors meeting, and that was Director Hunt on April 23rd.
Wow.
I know.
Another world.
Sorry about that.
Thank you, President Johnson. After assiduously taking copious notes, I spent on my computer, which was great because I was at home and I have 2 monitors. I couldn't find my darn notes. I looked for like 30 minutes before this meeting today. However, I went through the agenda and through the minutes, which are very, very succinct, and just racked my brain. And I think I've come up with a halfway decent, but succinct report, which I don't think anybody will mind. So first, they had a groundwater banking workshop and outlining their participation in the wider effort to bank groundwater. I think you all know this has been going on for some time and continues. And the discussion included points about how it provides water security and the ability to store and then share water and retreat and to share water, and also the water security in an age of drought, and also how Mojave Water Agency's desert areas have great banking potential, which we all know. And then next, the board considered and approved the issuance of a request for proposals for the urban water management plan. And again, those of you that have attended the Mojave Water Agency meetings, that's been going on for some time now. And that now the RFP has gone out for firms to bid on, to prepare a proposal to do their urban water management plan. They also approved a motion to authorize a landscape company, Contemporary Landscape, to provide landscaping services at the agency facilities. That's not that germane to us, other than it includes the demonstration garden, and several members, including our representative, Jim Ventura, commented on the the merits of demonstration gardens, their use by groups. Their particular garden is utilized, I think school groups and other groups go through, and how the concept has gone beyond the Mojave Water Agency to include demonstration gardens at other locations, including the Joshua Basin Water District. And wearing my other hat as the executive director of the Mojave Desert Land Trust, the Mojave Water Agency has provided grants for the development of our Desert Discovery Garden. And when we're finally able to have our grand opening, I will make sure to invite you all to attend. It's a beautiful garden. It was designed by the manager of our nursery, who has a degree in architecture from UCLA. And he designed a beautiful garden using gabion walls, which are rock walls that they're wire baskets filled with rock, and native timber, and then we planted different areas of the garden representing the different areas, the different plant communities in the Mojave Desert. So anyway, it was just great to hear Jim once again, speaking about, our local area and what we've accomplished. And then the last thing that I thought was really interesting, and it was kind of a side note at the time, but I did a little digging, and that's that Kathy Kortner, who is the interim general manager, has been appointed to the board of what's called State Water Contractors. And some of you that have been around a while may know that organization, but this is from its website. State Water Contractors is dedicated to reliably managing water supplies that fuel our farms and statewide economy, protecting the environment and public health, and making needed investments in future water security. Again, water banking would be one of those things. But the State Water Contractors organization is made up of 27 public water agencies throughout California, which deliver water to more than 27 million residents and more than 750,000 acres of agricultural land. So you might want to check out their website, but I think it's really interesting that, of these 27 entities, that Mojave Water Agency previously past General Manager McCarthy was on the board, and now Kathy is on the board, and that's got to be a very influential group when it comes to state water politics and law, legislation and policies. So I was really pleased to hear that they are active participants and that they serve on the board of directors. So and those of you that don't know Interim General Manager Kathy Kortner's background, she served on MWA for the past 12 years, most recently as Assistant General Manager and Chief Financial Officer, and she has 25 years of experience in the water industry. It made me wonder if that word interim is going to drop at some point, given that she was just appointed to the board of directors of the State Water Contractors. And that's my report.
Wow.
All right. Thank you very much. The next item is the finance meeting, and I think we've heard that. It was another riveting time, and we will have some more business here. And I dare say that I think our next meeting, Beverly, help me, is June 3rd.
Yes,
Beverly?
yes, we're having a finance committee on June 3rd, and a special, yeah.
Okay.
At the same time at 9 o'clock.
All right, so I'll note that correction in item 11 then when we get there. All right.
We will not have a finance committee meeting on June 10th.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, item 11, future director meetings and training opportunities. Mojave Water Agency's the 28th, and that will be Director Flowen. Public Information Committee meeting will be June 3rd, and that's Director Unger, Director Flowen, and Kathleen Radnich.
We need to move the time on that also. It'll be after the finance committee.
The public information?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll get with everybody after
Got
the
it,
meeting.
right. Okay, thank you. Board of Directors meeting, I think, is going to be June 17th.
No, we're going to have a special meeting on the 10th.
Ah, okay. But we will not have one on the 3rd then?
Correct.
Okay.
So we're having a special meeting on the,
The June
10th?
3rd board meeting is canceled. We're having a special meeting on June 10th.
Okay.
okay. That'll be at 6:30.
Yes.
All right. And Mojave Water Tech Advisory Committee is Director Flowen, and that'll be June 4th. And the Finance Committee then, as we said, will be June 3rd at 9 o'clock. Director Unger and myself. Water Resources, Beverly.
I'm going to leave that one up to Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have that one.
All right. It'll be at June 10th at 10:30, and that's Director Hunt and Director Reynolds. Mojave Water Agency Board of Directors is June 11th at 9:30, and that'll be myself. With that, I'll ask for.
There is, sorry,
There is
President,
one more.
there is one
Go
more
ahead.
addition. It's, we will hold a CAC meeting on June 9th via Zoom.
What
It's
time?
a Tuesday.
6
That'll be at
p.m.
6:30 or 6 p.m. I'm
6.
sorry.
Okay.
Oh, and there will be an ad hoc meeting on May 27th. I don't think that
Oh,
was.
okay.
No,
Thank you.
because that's an ad hoc committee, so that's just you and Director and you and President Johnson.
Just.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Two of you great ones.
One of those pretty meetings. It's a great meeting.
It is. I'll entertain comments. Director Reynolds.
Well, short of here we are, let's do the best we can and look forward to seeing you all in real life in person.
Amen.
And hunker down. I'm seeing firsthand real people that have been affected by this virus. And there's so much talk about, is it real? Is it really happening? And yes, it is. So be careful out there. As the county opens up, the lakes are starting to open, the parks are opening, and people are beginning to gather. Be careful out there.
Good words. Director Flowen.
Just a thought, maybe we should start, at least give some consideration to moving the Veterans Memorial to the demonstration garden, to just move the thing into a little bit, that's the garden, move it into a little bit more of a community relevance, so to speak, for things other than simply water conservation and native plants and such. It's just a thought. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Director Hunt.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my parallel universe with Mark and Bev in my world at the Mojave Desert Land Trust. I've been working with Beverly's counterpart at the Land Trust. It feels like my second full-time job on COVID-19, and we've been developing our own modified operations policy for the implementation of phase 2, and we just finished the draft today, and we'll be presenting it to my supervisors to comment on tomorrow. And we just ordered masks, and we've been doing the whole disinfectant thing and hand sanitizer and developing carrying capacities for different workspaces. And it's just it just makes me weary after a while, but there are some glimmers of hope that we are because of the governor relaxing things a little bit, we are going to be able to get more people back into the building to perform essential services that they can't perform at home. But everyone that can work from home will still be working from home, including yours truly. So I know firsthand the extra effort that takes, and I'm sure a lot of that has fallen on Beverly's shoulders. So I just want to thank her and Mark and everybody else for guiding the district well during this time. And just to underscore Mike's point, I found out today from one of my supervisors that one of our employees may have been exposed to someone that has COVID-19 and might have to self-quarantine for 14 days. So it is a bit in the abstract for us, even though we can read the papers and see the news. But then when it starts moving a little bit closer to home, and I have friends that have lost elderly family members to COVID-19. So it's the real deal. There's no doubt about that. And not to preempt Bob, and I hope he still gives his salute to the first responders that he always does. But I just wanted to point out, you probably have all noticed that those folks on the front lines, the doctors and nurses and paramedics and EMTs, and almost seems like almost every day in the paper, there's a report of another physician that lost their life, that some that came out of retirement and went back to work to fight this pandemic. And it really made me think about Bob taking the time to give that salutation each time, and I'm really glad you do, Bob.
Thank you, Gary. All right, Director Unger.
I want to ask Director Hunt, is anything that we're doing here at the Water District's COVID preparations and protocol, anything we can glean from what Mojave Desert Land Trust is doing that might be helpful to us here?
Perhaps, but I've been listening carefully to and reading, what's been developed for the district, and it's pretty much chapter and verse the same approach, just different application because of our different operations. But I'm meeting tomorrow with the people that do the field work, and we're going to be talking about how we can resume doing parcel inspections. For example, we have to inspect the parcels that we're acquiring for conservation purposes before we buy them, to ensure that if they need a cleanup, we can handle it, and there's no hazmat, that kind of thing. So they have to get out in the field and travel all over the desert to complete those site inspections. And we're talking about the same thing. How can we arrange things so that employees can safely travel out into the field and do their work. So
and travel together and stuff. Yeah. Wow. And real quick, how about that fire on Section 33?
Oh yeah. We're I just met today with Neil Frakes of the Joshua Tree National Park. Their botanist, and my plant conservation director and land stewardship lands director. And we are already talking to partners, the university system, and also already partnering with the park to do post-fire monitoring and restoration of the site. And what we're hoping to do is get funding to set up experiments in doing different types of restoration that will inform post-wildfire restoration throughout the desert.
Oh,
and
wow.
we're getting a lot of interest from the park and academic institutions, and we're also reaching out to USGS. And I've already talked to my former colleagues with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and there's quite a bit of interest in trying to really use it, turn that tragedy into an opportunity to study the effects of fire on native vegetation, but also on exotic species, and how to revegetate shrubs and annuals that are native, and keep the non-native plants from taking over further after the fire. So it's going to be really interesting.
Bushes. I hate those thorn bushes. I'm on a vendetta. And then just real quick, I want to touch on something that Director Flowen said. Generally, every year, the cemetery has a really great Memorial Day service. They do an hour service, and then they have like a community party. But I'm sure this year they're not going to be doing it. I think gatherings of 10 people are okay in this phase 2. And the demonstration garden is an open space that would be allowable. If you think a small little observance there on Memorial Day morning or something, 10 people or something, you know, that might be something that would be allowable, but just thought I'd kind of piggyback on what Tom said. And that's it. I'll leave the floor for President Johnson.
Okay. Well, I once again want to thank the board, thank the staff. Good meeting. A little bit, you know, changes is exactly what happens, and so we'll roll with it and come back next board meeting. We have some changes. Thanks for keeping up on the COVID stuff. The board of directors, thank you. You know, for reviewing the notes and stuff. We want to make sure those got out. So special thanks to Beverly on that. First responders, you know, we want to thank the ones that are on the front lines, those that are away from home, and especially our men and women in uniform. I also want to do a little shout out tonight to all the parents out there that are doing homeschooling. And
including
I know,
yourself.
You know, first grade's tough, boy, I tell you. So
What? Olivia's not in second grade already?
well, I promoted her. Yeah, we're moving right along. But you know, the frustration that comes, I think, you know, even we know the vulnerables that are being affected by this pandemic, and I want to just make sure that, you know, we do everything we can to, you know, with what we know of who are the most vulnerable, and then the other ones that are sort of impacted with all of this. It's stress laden not only for the parents but the kids, and I know that everybody's looking forward to getting out, but we want to do everything you know, systematically and safely. And so, you know, just thoughts to the rest of you. We're all in this together, and with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Can I ask some questions?
All right.
And McDonald's got that.
Can I ask some questions?